Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Slice of Knife. My name is Alex, and today we are going to take a look at one of the knives, or maybe more rather knife companies that's done this. Well, we're looking at one knife today, but we're talking about a knife company newer to the market. I think maybe they started in 2018. They started in a little shop in Utah, making posters and such, not even doing knives, and eventually have become a bit of a name in the knife industry, or at least I like to think so. They have a creator who very much has been in touch with knives for a long time. I don't know his history of all the things he's done with knives, but I know he used to work marketing at a few firms or some well-known places for knives. And now he is absolutely on the map with his company. And without further ado, let's introduce our guest for today. So I'd like to welcome to the show, Knafs Lander 1. Wow! Woo! Yeah, the roar of applause for the Knafs Lander 1. Knafs Lander 1. There really should be a roar of applause because this is actually quite a nice knife for what it is. Now, for those of you who don't know, Knafs is a company based in Utah. They started by a guy named Ben Peterson in his garage, essentially. They made knife posters, and then I think they did knife sharpening, and they've moved on to producing their own knives. Ben does, they have a Knafs at Night show that's on weekly, or it's like weekly or every other week. They said they were going every other week, but I feel like they've been going weekly. Anyways, Ben seems to be, I don't know Ben personally, but seems to be a nice guy, very informative person in the knife community, and somebody who seems like they're a good voice in here. Anyways, let's get to what we care about on this, which is knives. Knafs has 6 versions of the knife, of the Knafs Lander, that all do various different things. This is version 1, which is absolutely a pretty darn good start for knives. When you're starting a company and this is your first one, that's pretty good. Now, it's a smaller knife. I like that. They also made a bigger knife with the version 2. Then they went back down with the version 3. And then they have some fixed blades and some tiny minis and all this kind of stuff. We're not going to go through all the versions today, but we will talk about this one, the Knafs Lander 1. This is like the original with no frills. It is the Lander 1. It has D2 steel. It is a G10 scales that are a little textured. Let's move it up in here so you can see that kind of that texturing. Very nice little bit of texturing in there. It has a reversible deep carry pocket clip with the little insert for the cutout. So it's also an inset pocket clip. I can give you the look there. Inset pocket clip, no screws showing. Like Ben knows and knew what he wanted out of a knife. He wanted all these smooth pieces, easy on the pocket, all those kind of things. And he created that with this knife, absolutely. It's not a large and imposing knife. It's only 6.4 inches total when it's opened. Closed, it's 3.6 inches. Its blade length is 2.75 inches. It's 2.6 millimeters thick and weighs about 2.4 ounces. As I said, it's D2 steel. It has a drop point blade that is stonewashed, which we're going to show that in a moment. And yeah, so without further ado, let's take a look at this guy. One other thing to note, it's a liner lock, but it's done very well. It's a very nice liner lock. It reminds me a little bit of, it has a little bit of the Ontario Rat 2 feel, which might make a little special appearance on this version, or this episode of Slice of Knife. Anyways, very, very snappy action when you open that thing. I mean, it really clicks in there. Feels nice. Very enjoyable to use in that way. I really enjoy that. I was surprised at how it really reminds me a ton of the Ontario Rat. So it just has a good snap to it. Also, the interesting thing about this, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you, that this knife, these scales have, the one is hidden under, so I guess you'd have to remove the pocket clip. But the scales, by the way, the pocket clip also has just enough. It's strong enough and has just enough of the little tail, the head, whatever you want to call it, where it just slips right into the pocket very nicely. I have an easy time using that. But so these are, while they're very functional, good, solid G10, blue G10 scales, and they look nice. I mean, for blue G10 plain scales, they look very nice. But one of the things that's very interesting about this knife is they made the scale switch very easy. They made it very, oh no, my light went off. Hold on. Did I really run out of battery on that thing? Oh yeah, I did. Well, That's okay. I think we have enough light to finish this out. Interesting, but you know, I guess if I was smart, I would have a USB-C over here to charge that thing. But I guess I'll have to charge that. And I don't have my spare light or a spare light. I have the regular light here. I'll move that a little more over top. Yeah, that looks all right. That's good. So, anyways, back to the show. Technical difficulties. Um, so the scales, these are blue G10 scales, and they're very nice for what they are. But these are modular. That's the word I was looking for. So they have open source. They have the open source uh, plans design for these scales. So you can, if you have a 3D printer at home or know somebody who has a 3D printer, you can have them print scales with the open source scale designs that they have that you can use with your 3D printer. So you can really make anything you want for the scales for this. You could also do it with laser cutting on metal if you wanted to put some. I know they have a new version of this that just came out, brass scales on there, this pirate version. Well, not this version, I think it's of the 3, but their Lander line has brass. You could do it. You titanium if you had titanium and wanted to cut it. Any number of things you can do, but it has 4 screws, one under and then one under the pocket clip. You remove those 4 screws, pop on your new scales, screw those back in, good to go. No disassembling the knife, no craziness. They really wanted to make it easy. This is a knife that I've heard them talk about. They want to make this like an everyman's knife. This is for a knife person like me or you watching this. This is also for kind of your starter knife person, or maybe somebody who's not a knife person, but maybe they need a decent knife to do something with. That's what this is for. It's not a large imposing blade. As I said, it's only 2 3/4 inches. Not a very large and imposing blade at all. The one thing I noticed about it that I don't, it's a thumb stud open, by the way. The one thing I don't love about it is I wish it had a little more jimping. It has a little, and the jimping is good that it does have. It just doesn't have quite enough for me, but I mean, it is good jimping. I would just like to see another 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. Oh, that was out of focus there. I'd like to see another 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch of jimping. Like get it up to the thumb stud end there. That's where I'd like to see it at. That would just, for me, that would feel more natural in the hand. It also doesn't have much of a sharpening choil, which, you know, may matter if you're a sharpener. Check out my video. I'm going to like point and act like I'm going to put it over here. Check out my video about sharpening and how I talk about that right here. We'll see if I can actually put that in the video. I've never done anything cool like that before, but I'd like to. So, you know, maybe this will be the time. Anyways, maybe I should make my finger like a little smaller. Give myself more room. I don't know how it's going to look. Right there. Right there. Anyways, so it's D2 steel, not my favorite. I shouldn't say that. It's not my favorite steel for all usage. If you're going to use it indoors, box opening, or just indoor stuff that's not wet, totally good. But if you're going to have it outdoors, I don't love D2 steel. It's not that it's bad. It's perfectly strong, good steel, but it's not corrosion resistant. It's not really a stainless that works well with corrosion resistance. So I'd much rather prefer a 1428. 14C28N steel. That's like my preferred budget brand of steel. By the way, as we talk about this stonewashed blade, it is a flat grind. And I mean, it came, I'll say this, they were a sharpening place. They did that kind of as a thing, and they still do. You can send them your knives, Knafs or otherwise, doesn't matter what kind, and they'll sharpen them for you. But it came sharp out of the box. Very nice knife. So what I like about this knife is really for somebody who isn't a knife person, or it can be, but it can also be for somebody who is a knife person. It's around $45 right now. Now, I don't know, with tariffs, that's going to change. Watch Ben's video on tariffs that he did a few weeks ago. It's very good. So it's possible that the price of that changes. Maybe on the secondhand markets, they're already here, it might be fine. But in general, prices may change, but right now it's about $45. They do have a new version that's a contoured version. So the scales are a little bit more contoured, which you might be able, they probably release those too. So you might be able to just, if you have this already, you could make, if you have some micarta or whatever, you have a way to mill it. You can make your own scales, or just mill yourself some G10 contoured scales, if that's what you desire. That's the nice thing about this knife, is you can make it more than it is. It's a good solid knife at a good price, very good entry-level knife. I would give this would be a great knife to me for like, you know, a kid, if you're going to teach them. I mean, yes, it doesn't have finger-safe opening or finger-safe closing because it's a liner lock, although it's a well-done liner lock. But in general, you know, I think it would be a good knife. It's not too huge. It works well. And frankly, there's something about button locks and things that I think that takes away a little bit of like the responsibility, because it's so easy to do. Kids are more likely to play with it. This you're not going to play with as much because the liner lock isn't. I mean, it's a little bit fun because it has such snappy action, but not as fun as a button lock where you can just flip that thing around and kids are more likely to get hurt, in my opinion. Let's do a quick size comparison. So we'll throw out the Rat 2, which is going to be a little bigger. Lining those things up, it's going to be a little bigger. It's not much, but it's got a solid quarter, 3/8 to half an inch, probably more on it. And then you've got the Civivi Yonder, which is just a touch bigger. It's actually then the Rat are pretty close. It's pretty similar. So you really have the Knafs Lander 1 being a little bit more the smaller knife of these three, but just to give you an idea of what you're talking about here, like this is, these are the size knives that you're talking about here. And my knife in my hand, and I have about a 4-inch hand from here to here. It's about 4 inches exactly. I mean, I get a full grip on it, and I don't have a large hand. It's 4 inches, so you measure your own hand, you can see how this is going to fit in your hand. But it fits well. It's nice. It rides in the pocket nicely. It's small. It's light. It's a good knife. I really like it. It's great value for what it is. Let's get these out of here. See, this is like what I mean is you're a young Boy Scout or whatever, and you're gonna have this thing. Your dad gets you this. You're gonna be flipping it around all over the place. I'm not saying it's not a great knife. This is my preferred knife right now, as some of you may know. I just used it outside just a little bit ago. It still might even be. It's a little wet still. Literally just used it outside doing some things that got a little wet. It's 1428 CN steel, so I know it's good. But anyways, I like the knife, and I like this Knafs Lander. It's a very nice knife. I would recommend getting this one for sure if you're in the market for a knife that you can customize a little bit. I want to get some scales. I just got to figure out the ones. There's some nice Old Glory American flag ones, but they're sold out, or I have to get them aftermarket, and they're like $30, which is 3/4, 75% cost of the knife. So I don't love that, but I'd love to. If you get them from Knafs, I think they're only $15. I could do that. I would love to get those. So I'd love to get the Old Glory American flag scales. That'd be great. We'll see if they ever come back in stock. I might order some if they don't get tariffed and cost $64, and then the scales are more expensive than the knife. In any case, thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw and heard today, please hit the like and subscribe button. Comment below on what you think of the Knafs Lander 1 if you have it, and if you've customized it with scales. I'd love to see pictures of that. So please absolutely share. I love to see it. I love to hear about it. I love to talk about it. Knives are what we do here. So God bless. Have a great rest of your week, and hopefully I get this thing out on time. I put a post up. It's it's pretty late in the day. I got a half hour to get it out. We'll see what happens. We'll see you next time on The Slice of Knife.